Hello everybody, welcome to the I Am IT YouTube channel. My name is Shabazz and as ever, I am the IT Geek. Welcome back to another episode within my SC-100 Microsoft Cybersecurity Architect Exam topic series. We have been hammering through the topics. I'm on topic 3 at the moment, and again we've started to cover some best practices around sort of the security baselines and MCRA and MCSB. We've already kind of covered zero trust and looked at the cloud option framework and the well architected framework. So in that vein, let's crack on with this episode. So this is topic 3, part 2 on the SC-100 Microsoft Cybersecurity Architect Exam. Bit of a breakdown of today's episode. So this is the design solutions that align with MCRA and MCSB series or topic. Again, I'm going to cover one aspect within this with this episode today, and that's design solutions with best practice for capabilities and controls. So let's talk about design solutions with best practices for capabilities and controls, specifically MCRA best practices, capabilities and controls. First of all, it's important to learn what you have available. So learn about and utilize all security capabilities and controls that you have access to. Now, use the right tool for the job as well. So use sort of multi-technology approach to apply the best solution to the problem. Rather than relying on the same technology over and over again, like a network firewall or sort of secure information and event management, sort of SIAM, really good tool to use, a SIAM tool. Let's talk about sort of the data and management plane security. Ensure that you include both data plane security controls available since sort of pre-cloud on-premise data centers, as well as management plane security controls, embedded into cloud platforms, and they allow additional layers of visibility and control. Use native cloud controls where you can. So these are designed to secure your cloud assets. Use consistent tooling, across all cloud providers to ensure controls are effectively implemented in all your sort of platforms and your infrastructure. This is going to reduce the amount of time and effort you're using to implement and monitor controls, allowing you to accomplish more in the sort of security and resources that you have. Approach security holistically. So this means securing an asset, it requires establishing visibility and control over that full life cycle. Focus on security and productivity. So ensure that security enables productivity as well as reducing risk. Security should provide healthy friction that causes people to think critically about risk while designing or operating a system. And protect your privileged access. So ensure that privileged access accounts and systems are protected with elevated security protections, monitoring and response. And finally, prepare for ransomware and extortion attacks. Ensure that you are mitigating the risk of ransomware attacks, starting with the more sort of impactful controls. Talk about the MCSB control domains now, capabilities and controls. So data protection, we saw in the last demo, or some of the different recommendations Microsoft makes around all of these. So data protection, asset management, AM, posture and vulnerability management, endpoint security, backup and recovery, DevOps security, and governance and strategy. And as we saw, Microsoft uses the sort of compliance area within Defender for Cloud to make recommendations of implementations you can do throughout your environment to meet some of these capabilities and controls. So yeah, very, very useful part of Defender for Cloud. So let's talk a little bit about the cybersecurity capabilities and controls. This is part 1 of that. So we have the control on the left-hand side there, so data protection. And this is, again, very similar to what we saw in the last demo. So we've got DP1 to 8. So DP1 is to discover, classify, and label sensitive data. So it's all around, these are all around data protection, so monitoring anomalies, encrypting sensitive data, enabling data arrest encryption, using customer managed keys, using secure key management, secure certificate management, and ensuring security key and certificate repository. From an asset management perspective, we have tracking asset inventory. Use only approved services, ensuring security of the asset lifecycle management, limiting access to asset management, and using only approved apps in VMs. Then keep on going. We've got the posture and vulnerability management. So you've got PV 1 to 7 there, includes defining, establishing security configurations, auditing, defining, establishing secure configurations, auditing again, performing vulnerability assessments. Going on to endpoint security, this is a bit more, not as big. So we've got EDR, using modern anti-malware software and ensuring anti-malware software signatures are updated. The bottom they've got backup and recovery, so ensuring regular automated backups, so you can protecting your backup and recovery data, monitoring those backups and regularly testing backups. And then we've got the sort of third part of that, which is the DevOps security and the governance and strategy. So see the DevOps security, conducting threat modeling, some of them securing DevOps infrastructure, integrating dynamic application security testing into your DevOps pipeline, enforcing security of workloads throughout your DevOps lifecycle, and enabling logging and monitoring in DevOps. And then finally, governance and security strategy. We have a lot of sort of aligning to organizational roles, and then we have responsibilities and accountabilities. Then we have a lot of defining and implementing. So enterprise segmentation, data protection, defining and implementing network strategy. We went through these in the demo, so I'm not going to repeat them all, although I've repeated most of them. So some key takeaways for this part of the topic. Capabilities and control best practice can be found throughout the MCR and MCSB. You can find them in the architecture diagrams and sort of other sections. Some of these are explicitly called out in the MCSBs. So, best practices MCR and Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark, know about the security capabilities and controls available to you. Use a multi-technology approach if you can. Ensure you include both data plane and security controls as well as management plane security controls. Ensure you have controls to protect specific workloads, and use consistent tooling throughout your cloud providers, across those cloud providers. Have a holistic approach to security. Ensure that security enables productivity as well as reducing risk. And ensure, to mitigate the risk of ransomware attacks, starting with the most impactful controls. So that brings us on to the demo. So let's jump back into the demo portal and take a look at some more features and services in Microsoft that can help contribute to your cybersecurity architecture exam. Welcome back. Here we are in the Microsoft Training for Cloud portal, and because we've been kind of talking about regulatory compliance and we've been talking about the cloud security benchmark, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Because a lot of these items we've already kind of mentioned, network security, identity management, and if we actually dig down into these, they all have multiple compliance controls. So this has NS1, 10, so 1 to 10 basically this one has. So this is the network security. It tells us about, okay, so as we can see, the ones in red are ones we need to do, the ones in green we've already actioned. But again, with Microsoft Training for Cloud being multi-cloud, it's not just Azure, so we can see actually, so if we talk about NS, network security one on the cloud security benchmark, we actually have one for, so NS1 is established network segmentation boundary. So for Azure specifically, the control details for automated assessment is, we can do non-internet facing virtual machines should be protected. It tells us the resource type, tells us how many failed resources, 1 of 2. And then we can go and dig in deeper and actually look at how to remediate that. Click on that, and then we can look at the remediation actions. Actually, this takes us to the virtual machine. Well, this tells us remediation steps here. So again, like everything else, it tells you what the problem is and tells you how to fix it. But what it does as well, it tells you where you actually got areas where it's green, so you don't have to configure them. So the only thing we're failing on really here is the non-internet facing VM should be protected by NSGs. But then that's the automated assessments for Azure. Also shows you AWS. Now obviously these are all green because I want to integrate with AWS. Same with my GCP. But again, as we go down, we can see that for ensuring domain, for there's nothing for Azure on here, which is why it's green. But NS2 secure cloud services with network controls. These are the sort of automated assessments that we can look at. So for Azure, storage accounts should use private link connections, and these are very much closely linked to Azure policies. Also, you can do Azure policy to make sure once you've mitigated these and once you fix these with the specific resources, you have to put a policy in place with Azure policy to make sure that when a storage account is created, you use private link connection, that you can't use it until that's created. Or basically a policy to say all storage accounts should use private link. Private endpoint connection. So it tells us again the resource type. We can see these are all IaaS and PaaS services, storage accounts, SQL servers, key vaults, and again we can can work for. It tells us all again. There's 1 to 5 pages here, or kind of I'd say about 25 ones here. It tells us which ones we're kind of already compliant on because we've not got any failed resources. But here we can see we're actually there's kind of 5 here that we really do need to get protected on. So resource compliance status is red. Again, AWS and GCP as we go down. So as we again, these are all those security pillars that we saw for your Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark, and this is it's in this portal that in the Microsoft Defender for Cloud regulatory compliance part of the portal where we can action all these. So we've got identity management, which includes using centralized identity authentication systems, using strong authentication controls, and as we break down into these again, look at the Azure automated assessments, tells us the resource type and which ones don't meet compliance. So very, very powerful tool. And again, we've already kind of spoken about in the theory part, we spoke about the MCSB, and this is where we can actually make sure we align to it. So I see a lot of red, but within the security tools that Microsoft give us, we can get out of the red and mitigate those risks. So yeah, hopefully you gained quite a bit from that. It's quite interesting that the Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark. I'm actually doing a piece of work for a customer at the moment where we're doing Defender for Cloud. Very, very interesting tool. So I highly recommend you look at that. We are going to jump back into the portal shortly in the next episode as well to have a look at some of the other areas of Defender for Cloud. So hopefully you've gained a lot from that episode. I hope you're having fun and enjoying the content. Try to do theory and demo, try to mix up a bit, not try to do too many big episodes, try and keep them small, 10 to 15 minutes. Loads of useful links in the description, a link to the GitHub lab repository, a link to MeasureUp's practice exam papers discounted as well, so use that link. Definitely recommend you do practice exam papers, especially with MeasureUp, because they're very realistic to the exam from the sort of exam question types you get. But also there's a link to Microsoft Learn, the SC-100 stuff as well, so I highly recommend you look at that always with Microsoft Learn. Free content as well, as is my YouTube as well. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Make sure you subscribe, if not why. I really appreciate the support, and it's I'm trying to grow my channel. I've smashed that 10k kind of aim that I had which was the end of a year, and I've done it within half that time, so I'm very happy with that. So keep on supporting me, and we'll get that 15k as well. So thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye.